Okay, it's now 7 p.m. I hereby call the November 12th meeting of Frostburg Planning Commission to order. We'll start our beginning with a roll call of members present.
Chad Paul.
Conrad Vest,
Karen Crowe.
Jeff Snyder. Ray Reeves.
we have a quorum. As we begin, I would ask that anyone presenting business before the commission or individuals who want to comment on business before the commission or other concerns, please come forward to the podium at the appropriate time. State your name and address for the record. Each meeting is recorded, so please speak loudly and clearly. Next item on our agenda is the approval of the minutes of the October 25 Planning Commission meeting, which you have in a copy in your packets. Chair would entertain a motion for approval.
Make a motion to approve as presented.
Well, I just see a typo in paragraph A. I think it's zoning ordinance which would call artisan small. There's an all. That shouldn't be called artisan scale manufacturing.
Which section?
Second paragraph of
Text
the
amendment.
text amendment, item 8A.
No biggie. The ordinance which would
Which would call artisan.
all artisan small scale manufacturing land use.
That's removed.
I agree with you.
Yeah, I think that, I don't know why that's even in there. I'll reword it so that it makes
No,
sense.
I think the wording was would call artisan scale manufacturing as a permitted use.
Yeah.
I mean, it very well may have. I feel like I didn't write it as call. I feel like it's
Okay.
a different word
All right.
altogether, but,
So you're either missing include or the word call, or C for call.
yeah, I'll make it make sense.
Well, I withdraw my.
You were here.
motion, and I'll make a motion to approve as corrected.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Wasn't here.
Okay, it's moved and second that we approve the minutes of the October meeting. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Abstentions? Motion carries.
Who was the second?
All right, citizen comments from the floor, and I take it you gentlemen are here to do a presentation, okay, then. All right, we'll move on then to project's presentation. Please come forward and state your name and address and have at it.
It'll be Justin Tippin, 10118 Parkersburg Road, Southwest, Frostburg, Maryland, 21532.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. If everyone's ready. So what we're proposing is we'd like to try to get a special exception for a property that's located at 166 Bowery Street. We are, would be my partner Corey Heyman on this, and there is already a business in Garrett County that is working very well, and they are looking for room to expand. So we manage the location already. We have 6 rental units in the upstairs, and we have a full basement that is not being used right now. does fall within several of the guidelines to have the zoning to be approved to set up a mushroom growing facility in there. We've been meeting over a few months, discussing everything, the benefits to having it, and this is the next step in trying to get everything opened up, do it the right way. With the building, anything that we build would be inside of the building, which is already there. It will mess with nothing structural. It is a sprinkled building. We have parking already in the rear of the building to accommodate. And then there's also nothing that it should affect with all of the guidelines for the criteria to be able to have a special exception.
Which end of Bowery is 166 on?
It's the far end.
Right before the curve,
Sorry, go ahead.
right before the curve, isn't it?
Yes, it is right on it, yeah.
Okay.
And this is an interesting concept, so if anybody has questions, I'm sure we'll do our best to answer them. The construction part, I can usually answer most of that stuff. I am a licensed contractor in the state of Maryland, so we have, a lot of jobs under our belt doing things like this and building facilities out. There would be no damage to the exterior of the building, anything like that to the area, no odors, anything like that. The only thing we'll have is one fresh air vent and one CO2 vent coming out of the building.
I was wondering about ventilation.
Yep, and that's the only thing that will come in and out of the building, no odors, anything like that, so.
What kind of mushrooms are you looking at?
There's a lot of different varieties. Corey is very well versed in this.
Thank you very much. Committee members, my name is Corey Hyman. My address is 135 Era Messenger Lane in McHenry, Maryland, 21541. Very excited to partner with Mr. Tippin on this project. I've been a mushroom farmer for the past year in Garrett County at this facility, and I've been growing oyster mushrooms, chestnut mushrooms, and lion's mane mushrooms in a basement facility, a 10 by 10 fruiting tent in my basement. I've been selling at farmers markets, at the Mountain Fresh Farmers Market, and at the Deep Creek Farmers Markets, as well as to restaurants and to stores with fresh mushroom products, as well as ancillary mushroom products, coffees, teas, capsules, tinctures, and the like. I've been teaching classes at Garrett College on mushroom growing and mushroom cooking. I'm part of the Appalachian Farm and Food Alliance, so focusing on the food system in the area, and I'm really excited about this opportunity to partner with Mr. Tippin to increase opportunities for fresh, healthy foods here in Western Maryland, here in Frostburg, and to expand our mushroom offerings. Right now, I'm limited because of my single fruiting tent to mushrooms that grow with the same temperature and the same conditions. In this situation where we would have the opportunity to have one large space but separated into smaller fruiting chambers, we would be able to grow additional varieties of edible and medicinal mushrooms would be the goal.
There's oyster, chestnut, and
Currently lion's mane,
Okay.
and the oyster mushrooms, we've been growing blue oysters, Italian oysters, black pearl king oysters, king trumpets, pink oysters, and on deck are golden oysters as well.
Yahoo.
Yes, very fun.
Sign me up.
You're way over my head on mushrooms there.
Oh, that's great. We need them locally. And it's nice because there are, I know in Pennsylvania, mushroom farms, but they're just the basic button mushroom, and these are great.
Well,
Great
Pennsylvania-
addition.
Pennsylvania's the mushroom capital of the country, with Kennett Square with 70% of the mushrooms grown in the country. 97% of mushrooms in the U.S. are button mushrooms, either the white variety or the baby bellas or the portobellos. We will be growing the varieties that are really suited for our area. The neat thing too, because it's an indoor facility, is it would be 4 seasons. So we would be able to continue to provide these fresh resources year-round.
You planning to use the farmer's market here in Frostburg?
So I've been approaching several places in Frostburg and in Allegheny County since we started the talking. I've spoke with people at the farmer's market. I've spoke to the store on Main Street, which they're excited to get fresh products that are local. I've had conversations with several chefs in the area. One is Yolo Food Truck, and they're looking for fresh mushrooms that aren't available. And also Ottaviani's, chef and I have spoke several times. And the stuff that they're getting off the trucks is not fresh. They're still getting canned stuff, even trying to produce things there. So they're excited about this opportunity also. Because of just starting out, we haven't reached out to a ton of people yet because we don't want to get and we have supply yet. So,
My understanding is that there are farmers markets in Frostburg and in Cumberland a few
Yes.
days a week, and that Ms. Allison Boyd, who is the chair of the farmers market in the Deep Creek Market, also facilitates the markets in Allegheny County. And so we've become very good friends, and she would be excited, I think, for us to be able to provide our wares here
Yes.
in Allegheny County too. I think that our vision is that growing from the 30 pounds of mushrooms that we're growing currently per week to up to 600 pounds is quite a jump, even to go from 30 to 200. And so we would like to start off with ideas for value-added products: mushroom jerky, mushroom chips, all fresh, all healthy. But then we would be able to sell the fresh mushrooms as demand grows over time, and that would be just in my primary job as we then hire people to work in the farm over time from
And
Frostburg.
the dried products would be produced there as well?
So I'm formerly, I teach the food handling classes and the food management classes at Garrett College. I'm a former restaurant owner and a former cottage kitchen owner in Pennsylvania and now in Maryland, and so very, very aware of the cottage kitchen laws and what we are allowed to produce on site and what we would require a commercial kitchen to do. So we would be able to do the capsules and the tinctures and the mushroom coffees and teas that I have been doing on site. But we aren't allowed to dry mushrooms. We're not allowed to produce foods that are time and temperature sensitive. So Justin and I have already done some initial outreach.
Yes, so there are several churches in the area that we've worked with my construction company. So we have actually reached out to them to see about renting their kitchens to kind of give back to them because they've supported our companies over the years. So we're working with several and going back and forth with questions right now for the point when we do need a commercial kitchen.
I'd love to see this operation happen. It just seems like an odd location
So
to
the-
start a mushroom business.
So the location is in a basement, which is dark and well temperatured. So it's the climate control is easier to control for the different, kinds that they need, or different temperatures that they need. It's wide open and it's nothing in there right now. And it's, the measurements actually are on here. It's 23 feet wide by 39 feet wide open. And it's just sitting. So it's really an ideal location.
I'm very familiar with this building, having actually designed it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the basement of that building was built for storage, actually.
Yep.
And, it was never used, and it has a ramp going down into it. so
Yep.
It is not, or it never was intended to be used for residential use, the basement, and it's huge. It's bigger than City Hall.
Yes.
One of the neat things about the location
Really?
Yeah.
is it's adjacent to Frostburg State, and so we would like to do initial outreach, with agriculture, and as we develop our research and development kinds of new products, we'd love to be able to collaborate with the university, with Allegheny College in Cumberland, and so yes, I would not have thought of that kind of space initially, but I think that it does provide some advantages for just being really central to the community, and hopefully easier than to hire people to be able to work at the facility as well, to minimize having to do a lot of transportation.
Yes. If we can hire students or local people that can walk there, one, it brings more jobs to the area, which is we all understand that we need. And two, if we need part-time people, it could help college students, it could help high school kids that are, in these programs. Today, I had the privilege of going to several of the schools through the Leadership Allegheny program. I was able to visit both the CCTE and also Allegheny College, and CCTE is looking for places that kids can do internships and things like that, and it's really ideal. And Frostburg State, Allegheny College actually, they have like forestry programs and things like that this would all, technically benefit down the road if things do go off the ground. So,
So you think the basement's suitable?
Yeah, I mean, by all means,
What What kind of hours are you planning as far as deliveries?
Anything that would be delivery time, it'd be normal hours of 9 to 5, whatever time that the businesses are gonna need the mushrooms. I mean, we would be in there earlier, to trim, get things ready. But then out the door for the chefs early in the morning, anything, it's gonna be a fresh product. That way it continues to maintain and be fresh by the time.
We're not talking tractor trailers.
We're not, or a loading dock or anything
Yes.
else. We're talking a very manageable,
Yes.
with our own vehicles.
A van load?
Yes, no more than that, I would
Yes.
expect on any one day.
Yes.
Number of employees.
I guess starting there'll probably be 3 or 4, and 2 of those will be Corey and myself. And then the way we have it structured right now, if everything's approved, is to start with one grow area, which would be for 200, to go up to 200 pounds in a week, sorry. And then as we get things off the ground, it will progress to 400, then 6, then 8. So as it would change, we would need to look at additional staffing.
Because parking is the situation there.
Correct. So one thing is we have 4, I guess ideally when the building was designed, it was more student related, so there was 2 parking spots for every tenant. There are extra spots there, and then now we have it, so there's way less vehicles in the parking lot now, so.
What's the actual count,
There are,
parking spaces versus number of units?
I don't want to give you the wrong information, let me double check that. But I know we have at least 7 spots open almost daily, so.
Right. Well, it's not so much what your actual demand is right now, it's compliance with the ordinance moving forward.
Yes.
Because you can't just think that student housing and regular housing everywhere.
Yes, absolutely.
So we abide by whatever the housing criteria is required for that particular zoning.
Yes.
So moving forward, I see no problem with the concept, but moving into Board of Zoning Appeals approval, you need to have your parking numbers straightened out.
Absolutely.
Make sure you present the parking numbers and show that you are in compliance with the parking.
Okay.
And we're looking for a favorable recommendation of the Board of Zoning Appeals on this.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
What are you doing to control smell?
So there's not
They
really
don't.
any odor that comes from that, so it,
What's your media growing? 'Cause, I mean, all the mushroom operations I've been to actually a couple, believe it or not, they smell like porcelain oil. I mean.
So there, obviously different kinds of mushrooms grow
Yeah,
on different
and like I
substrates.
said, I'm ignorant on the issue, that's why.
So
I'm
the
asking.
ones, so right now, there would be 2 phases of that. There would be the spawn, and right now, we're using oats and, oats, and primarily oats right now, and then we had birdseed, but then on our substrate, it's hardwood pellets. Right now, we're getting them locally from Flintstone. We had wood shavings that we get from a mill in Bittinger. We then have soy hull, and then a little bit of gypsum. So they're really, it's wood-based rather than manure-based.
Okay.
and another thing is, all of that is all recyclable down the road as being able to be sold as mushroom dirt, as it breaks down, and there's a use for everything in the whole process. So everything is completely recyclable.
How often do you switch out mediums, growing mediums?
Well, what would be neat is that right now in my current facility with one tent, I have to swap around within the space. So I have to clean each area of the fruiting tent while there's still mushrooms in there. But this would allow us to use one tent fully and then be able to rotate in a way that probably on a monthly basis, we would be able to do a full cleaning, which would just be water and white vinegar of the space of each of the fruiting tents over time. But we
Do you
would be,
need trucks for that?
no, just regular cleaning supplies.
No,
and
I
just a
mean,
water
in
hookup.
terms of changing medium,
Oh,
bringing it in and out.
well, we would need to bring the substrate materials in, but that would be one delivery every few months.
And we're talking a pickup truck, not
We're not talking volume.
No,
Yeah,
correct.
Not putting a band in that.
No, absolutely not.
A pallet of substrate, of hardwood pellets.
Yes, there's 2 units on the first floor, correct.
relative humidity would be closer to 90% within that space.
Yes.
Is that gonna impact, like, I don't know,
It's
heating,
actually,
cooling and the
Yeah.
units above?
it's
or-
an excellent question. What I can say is that I have my current fruiting tent in my basement. I have, living space on the first floor, and then my family hasn't said anything about anything other than, my music, which we could obviously keep to a minimum with, with headphones and everything else.
Is the humidity controlled in the tent
It
or in the
is.
entire basement?
No.
So just the high humidity within the growing?
Within the growing tents. And there will be incubation tents too, which would have no humidity control. It would just be, 75 degrees and dark.
And one thing to control that, so where we're building, the way they'll be in the tent, they'll be spray foam, so it's completely sealed. One, so it keeps our costs down from heating and cooling, it'll keep everything to a minimum. And to be able to control the temperature better, so there's very little chance of anything escaping and causing any humidity issues. Another thing that we're gonna do is put vapor barrier on the ceiling with the build to ensure that there's nothing. I am mold certified and things like that through my contracting company, and I know all the things we have to look for.
Millet, by the way, was the other ingredient that I wasn't remembering. Millet and oats for the spawn.
I was gonna say oats and barley sounds like.
Well, you
Look
can
it over
millet
it,
too. You can still make, other.
Yeah, we can make some.
Uncle Ben's rice is, another common one.
Jimmy, what is the zone?
Do you need an,
That's, C1.
yeah. Do you need, an NPDS discharge permit for that, as a small industry? It's something you might wanna run past MVP. It doesn't have an impact on us, but, yeah.
Even under the, like a five, like, new construction under 5,000 square feet, like, it's still something.
That's not not the stormwater discharge, that's what we're thinking of.
Oh,
Now,
okay.
this is a site-specific, which you have to do for industrial operations, manufacturing. That's something you're gonna wanna check out yourself. It's not something that the city would regulate unless, the city engineer would get involved in it from the sanitary sewer end, which may be required to monitor your doing out of the ordinance.
Okay.
It's a pretty simple process to work out.
Okay. Thanks, Danny, I appreciate that, thank you.
What was it called?
It's NPDES, National Pollution Discharge Regulation System. So, anyone has it, like, I've done a bunch of them for, like, when they had the milk distribution down in Humboldt, that plant had to have, because people would spill milk and it would go into the drains, unfortunately. Basically, anything that you do that ties into the sanitary sewer have that kind of permit from the state.
Okay.
Now, you may well just find yourself under the exemption criteria, but you still have to apply for it.
I've also been in the process for my current facility and would want to do so for this facility just to be compliant with mushroom gap procedures and, the federal rule as it relates to agricultural practices. And as a former restaurant owner who teaches the food safety, it's important to me in restaurants and it would be important to me in our production as well.
I see things that the doctor addressed the poison appeals meeting. I don't have a problem making a recommendation, but I'll make a favorable recommendation to the board to this particular use.
I want to second it.
I thought you were on.
I beat her to it. No wonder Karen gave me the look.
No, I've been wanting a source of Kentucky's.
We'll
Oh,
put
your
that at the top of
Lion's
the
Mane, Lion's Mane.
I guess the thought on Boza, as we were talking about parking, and obviously, I think you own both, there's additional ground out back that could be additional parking.
Correct.
if necessary.
So,
That might be something to approach as a future, as growth, if Boza has concerns over that. And just giving you some, so again, looking at those numbers, something you can think about, might not be today, but as you expand, they might require something there. But I mean, that way it would limit your upfront cost.
yes, and I appreciate that, and that's one of the things, since I took over management of this building, we've had to adjust other things with parking as the city has before some people's times. We had to change parking and things like that, after it was built, because it went for a long time and just maintained as gravel, but part of the sale and us managing it was that we had to get part
But would it be normal, are you looking normal city trash? Because if they're gonna be, this is
No.
one of those weird
There's
things.
a dumpster.
There's a dumpster?
Yes,
Okay.
so there's a dumpster there for anything that isn't recyclable.
Okay.
But I also, when we're doing the clean outs, it's gonna go into my dump trailer and leave right away.
Okay.
There's actually some gardening locations that would be interested in having the final product
Okay.
waste.
Yeah, now, I was thinking of other things other than, normal trash and stuff.
Packaging stuff.
Oh, yeah,
Packaging,
yeah.
that kind, those kind of things. Because again,
So the only time
this
I,
is the first one of these we have had. I think, is it not?
Agricultural?
The first legal. There's been a few grow houses in town, but I don't think they were that
Okay.
kind of mushroom.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you guys. I think it's a viable idea. It's something we haven't seen before, so, from that standpoint, all I can say is I hope it goes.
I have a motion before the commission for a favorable recommendation to Bozo.
With the condition that they address
Condition,
parking.
address about parking. All in favor indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Abstentions? Motion carries.
thank you. Thank you guys
Congratulations.
very much. Thank you so much, we appreciate it.
Yes.
Thank you.
Karen's happy. She wants invited to the grand opening. though.
Most welcome. Most welcome. Thank you.
I can use the mushrooms there too.
We all are.
Take a look at my basement.
Hey, you said this something serious. Conditions are in.
My basement is dimension.
I don't know the full extent. I know it's going to be in this area. I don't have plans on it readily available.
Ooh, but that is something to check.
Yeah, the roundabout.
The roundabout,
That
the last
roundabout.
house comes down.
Yeah,
It pretty much,
it'll still be there. It's not gonna cause an impact to the roundabout.
yeah.
No, the
That's
roundabout's
whether
all
the
the way
roundabout
over.
would affect the house.
It's in,
No,
No,
Not
The
There's
every.
only-
the city's purchasing or has already purchased all the property that they need for the roundabout. They've already closed on that.
okay. Next item on the agenda is discussion items by any of the chair or members of the commission.
We, saw our first, section for the comp plan last week.
Oh.
There's a lot of data that was presented. The group took some issue with the data, so we've asked them to go back and readdress it. It showed really negative numbers in growth, particularly with the residential numbers. We don't think it's accurate. We think it's, the older data used census data, and then the most current data used a different source. So it's kind of like comparing apples and tangerines. They're really close, but not quite. And they showed what was it, a 19 or a 20% drop?
It was a very large drop.
Yeah, it was a double-digit drop in single-family residences, and we know that's not the case.
And that was just even from 2020 to like the 2023 estimate.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It was from
Yeah.
the latest census to that particular study, the ARC study, or I'm not sure what it was.
The ACS, American
ACS.
Community Survey,
Yeah.
yeah. So they're estimate numbers, they're not like the actual census, the numbers. So sometimes those, depending on how many people are surveyed, can swing the estimates a large amount.
It painted a rather bleak picture of
A thought on that, as Justin pointed out, because his units are single-family homes, and I know obviously the university has contracted, from the numbers that it was 15 years ago. And it seems that there's a lot more apartment units that are now going back to family residential units. How many of those are actually expanding and taking out walls and making the whole structure? Are we tracking that at all? Do we know what is being done as far as that?
I mean,
Should we?
if they're applying for permits,
Yeah.
then we would know. I mean, we could cross-reference that maybe against like older rental housing data. And it's like, oh, it was in the program, now it's not. Is it now a single-family home?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we're
So,
about.
sorry.
Jump in, yes.
City of Cumberland is running into this all the time. Every time we do an inspection now, they have to go through and measure and mark everything out. I have to turn
Right.
in a plan, a blueprint, because of how many jobs have been done without permits.
Right.
And they don't know what the structures look like now on the inside. So it's similar to what I think is probably happening.
Yeah.
And we went from, 75 student rentals in Frostburg to 3 now. Everything else is back to single family.
Really?
Yes.
I mean, but you go from a house that had 4 kids, 5 kids living in it, it's now back to a 3-bedroom house, like it used to be.
Which
Yeah,
that
I
would
didn't realize that.
affect multiple units dropping if that happens on a large scale.
Yeah. Just wasn't sure if that was being caught somewhere in all the numbers or positive, negative, but just the
That's what
reality.
we've asked them to look at and to break the information down a little differently. I think what they ended up doing was that later study combined the rental, the multifamily rental student rentals with the single family. I think that's why we're seeing the drop.
Yeah. There was definitely something that's not quite
It just didn't make sense.
accurate.
No. Especially since we're issuing building permits and not demo permits.
Yeah. Demo permits are few and far between.
Right.
Anything
Oh,
else of
you mean-
interest on the plan?
No, we spent an hour and 15 minutes going over just that one section, going through the data and asking questions. We've had a lot of questions for the people. We're making it work for the money. So,
Did you find anything good?
hmm?
Did you find anything?
I can get the housing element, like I sent the housing element out to,
I got it.
yeah, to the steering committee members, but I can get it to the planning commission too.
Yeah.
Well, that's really, the only thing they have presented to us so far is the housing element, which was a very rough draft, and the intro for discussion. That's the only things that I've seen on the steering committee.
There was a presentation that they made on the survey data. I don't believe that was distributed. to
That,
the-
I did send an email.
That went out to the whole board.
Yeah, I
They
did
did?
include
Okay.
a link, I believe,
Okay.
to that one.
It
in
wasn't an
email.
attachment, it was a download link.
Yeah, cause it's on the city's website,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
it was like the link to the,
All right.
yeah.
Okay, are we ready to move on to the next item here? Text amendment.
Jumped ahead, I apologize. I didn't even see that one.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
that's next.
Jamie, I apologize.
That's okay.
And then, if you'll notice, he's gonna give a report on the plan too, toward the end, but, okay. All right, let's move on to the text amendment, and I wanna start off right away, because I'm married to a grammar Nazi. If you look at 8.2A, it says, is the city's goal to, to accommodate, to allow, to create, those all should, the twos all ought to be out of there, and it should be accommodate, allow, create, attract. Here's a copy of what we're discussing in our minutes today.
Yeah, it's it's the last
It's in the
thing in
packet,
the packet.
the last 2 pages. See what I mean?
Yes.
But, yes, I do see,
Okay.
yeah, I see what you mean, yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Uh,
I thought maybe somebody had another comment.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is, we brought this before the planning commission last month, and it was voted on to be tabled until there were more, planning commission members available to discuss. So this goes back to what we, actually just, saw with the mushroom growing facility. The artisan small-scale manufacturing, the reason why they had to even come here this evening is because in commercial zones, the artisan small-scale manufacturing is listed as a special exception use, and in residential districts, it's not even provided for at all. And so, last month we were discussing, the potential text amendment that would allow the artisan small-scale manufacturing to be included as a permitted use in the commercial districts and as a special exception use in the residential districts, provided that it would meet all of the criteria that's listed in that section 8.2 that lays out the requirements for something to be considered in, an artisan small-scale manufacturing land use.
I was confused by, under the general standards, number 2, the artisan small-scale manufacturing shall not include artist studios and other uses permitted in residential districts as home occupations.
So in order to be considered a home occupation, that's like another specific, criteria. I can pull that up.
Oh,
Yeah, so it's its own whole section, like section 8.1, it's right before that section in the zoning ordinance. And that's specifically for, like somebody that wants to use their residence as, for like their business activity. So if say you're an architect or a lawyer or something like that, and then you use your home to see clients that come in, like that type, as opposed to like this instance where like it's another concurrent use, but not necessarily in their own personal home.
but I'm just, as I said, I was confused. So the artist studios would be permitted in residential districts.
Under special exception.
Okay.
Is that correct?
So the studios right now are permitted.
Well, it depends. If
Yes.
you have more than one artist there, they are not. It becomes a special exception.
Oh, okay.
In the R1, and then you do zoning occupancy permit for home occupations. Yeah, that would be tailored. Whereas if you wanted to put in, say, maybe 6 or 7 people in the C1 district, that's not included in our zone. That goes back to this 8.2 that we were just looking at, the artisan small scale. We already have examples of it in place, just not by name. This gives them like a clear path to operate and continue operating within the confines of the zone. Jamie, has this been discussed at all at the work session?
No, I haven't brought this forward to mayor and council yet. The administrator, I spoke with, the city administrator about it, but, nothing has been brought forward, for discussion with the mayor and council.
exciting. It brings in a good bit of diversity.
I said we passed it on. With the changes that Chairman Nazi brought up.
The grammar Nazi's husband.
No. I'm not going there, Conrad.
She certainly improved my writing skills over the years. Well, the chair would entertain a motion for recommending this change to the zoning code.
I don't see where this has a really negative impact on the town. It's basically what we're doing is just allowing for small scale manufacturing that in the C1 district without a special exception. So you could do the large scale stuff in the C1 district, why not do the small scale stuff too? So, and then to open it up, the bigger change would be opening up to residential as special exception, which means that the board here and Board of Zoning Appeals then would have need to maintain a tight control over what gets approved in a residential setting.
Yeah.
To make sure that we don't allow something that's gonna be a nuisance for the neighborhood.
Right.
So I think this section's well written and, gotta pass it forward to the council, so I'll make that recommendation.
Do we wanna, just real quick, you had mentioned just C1, are we gonna do all commercial district?
Yeah, I would say
Okay.
it's for all commercial zones, so
Okay.
that's the way this is written. I just threw out C1 because we were just discussing C1.
Okay, just wanted to make sure that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll second it and just make a note on it. I mean, when you read down through, obviously, the standards for home occupation, and they come back for an exemption, there's plenty of controls that we could look at to ensure that we're not causing a nuisance to someone. So, I mean, I agree. I mean, I think it's well within the means of the regs.
I think it gives us better control over what goes on
Yeah.
than without having anything written.
Good point.
So, I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded that we recommend these to be part and parcel of commercial districts and special exceptions in other districts. All in favor indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Abstentions. Motion passes. We may have to have longer meetings.
So, and then next section, I mean, Ray pretty much already covered it. No, it's all good. Yeah.
Steal your thunder, Dave.
No, totally fine. I mean, that's pretty much.
actually read the agenda before I let you know.
Yeah, we have the steering committee, meeting call, and, Ray pretty much covered it. And then we have another steering committee meeting call. That'll be, I believe, the first Friday of December, it should be the 5th. And other than that, they're just kind of working on stuff in the background, working on the other sections, and, some, like, finalizing the land use map, and just making sure that that looks good, and make sure they have the zoning and everything, what it is accurately. But other than that, that's about all that's going on right now with the, comp plan.
Anything else? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Someone else made it.
right, we are adjourned.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you. Good luck, gentlemen. Yes.